At a training ground in the southern Volgograd region, tank crews spent 50 hours in the field practicing battle skills, driving through water pits, firing while on the move and hitting several targets simultaneously. And the security situation on parts of eastern Ukraine has deteriorated, with increased violence in parts of the rebel-controlled areas in recent weeks, jeopardizing a fragile peace. Meanwhile, the U.S. military says it will step up its troop presence in Eastern Europe by developing an additional armored brigade in response to what it calls an aggressive Russia.
Slammed NATO for planning to deploy more forces near its borders in Eastern Europe. Russian ambassador to NATO, Alexander Grushko, said deploying a surplus armored brigade runs counter to the Russia-NATO Founding Act. He said Moscow does not accept attempts to justify the deployment of more NATO forces on the basis of rotation. His comments come as the Pentagon says it will begin continuous rotations of an additional armored brigade of about 4,200 in Eastern Europe beginning in early 2017. A top U.S. general also says NATO and Pentagon are switching their defense doctrine from assurance to deterrence in Eastern
of all voters strongly agree or somewhat agree with that statement. 43% somewhat disagree or strongly disagree. But among all Republicans, 79% agree, while only 36% of Dems agree.
3 months alone, the Veterans Affairs Department has taken away the right to bear arms from over 250,000 of our veterans. Those same people that our government talked into serving and trained to be killers with the most deadly of weapons are not allowed to have guns when they come home. More than 250,000 vets in just the past 3 months alone have had their Second Amendment right taken away. The issue came to light after Senator Chuck Grassley and Senate Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman Senator Johnny Isakson penned a letter to VA Secretary Robert McDonald. And in the letter, they called BS on the VA for using the fiduciary trust status of veterans to regulate firearms without consideration of any other circumstances. This is what happens. When vets come home from the trauma of war, often they have trouble reassimilating.
AEMS. Audrey, can you hear us?
We're live right now with Bexar County Sheriff's Office spokesman James Keith. James, tell us a little bit about what is going on here at Lackland Air Force Base.
Right now we do have an active shooter situation where we do have deputies inside the building. What we know at this point is at roughly 8:40 this morning, we received a call from Lackland Air Force Base requesting assistance for an active shooter. When our deputies arrived, they made entry into one of the buildings. They went through several rooms, several hallways, looking for a shooter, looking for victims. They went into a room. They found 2 bodies. Right now, we do believe that those 2 are victims of a murder-suicide. We are currently still inside the facility. Our deputies are looking for any other victims and any other possible shooters. However, we do feel like the situation is contained.
On Tuesday, when a vehicle cut her off, she honked at the car, which then slowed down, and someone in the passenger seat shot her.
To stop over there and